I want to welcome you to the Bearcat Beat, where each week we talk about Sherman Bearcats athletics. The Bearcat Beat is brought to you by the Sherman ISD Booster Club. I'm your host, Chris Daly. Sherman Bearcat Athletics represent the heart and soul of our community, where champions are made both on the field and in the classroom. Our student athletes embody the Bearcat spirit through dedication, perseverance, and excellence, creating memories and building character that will last a lifetime. Remember, it's better to be a Bearcat. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Coach Josh Aleman to the show. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, of course. Well, gosh, there's so much I want to talk about, not least of which is opening game, but we're going to hold that one for next week. I want to talk about the team. Let's jump right in. What do you have coming back?
We have 18 starters coming back. Majority of those guys are on the defensive side of the ball. Our back end is going to be, when you look football-wise, they're going to be veterans. Our defensive linebackers are all returning. We lost a lot of great skill players on the offensive side of the ball, but with the development through JV play or through JV and how we do things development-wise. We're fired up about them and what they're doing this fall camp and throughout spring. And we have some linemen that have grown a little bit, so we got some size up front. We have two really good running backs that are coming back. But Bryson Taylor had 34 solo tackles last year. He had one INT, and that's a safety position. That's pretty good. Yeah. You have Caden Golson's coming back. He's our leading rusher coming back, 420 yards, 4 touchdowns, and limited snaps last year. Abram Ramirez, 21 solo tackles, and he's got 5 tackles for loss. He's really a plug in our interior defensive line. And then Eric Coleman graded out 87%. On the year. So over 10 games, he was 87%. So we're going to be led by those guys. We're going to be led by our senior leadership, and the sky's the limit for what they can do as long as we keep working, buy into the process, love the process, and the results will happen.
I love that. And in the off season, what were some of the holes that you really needed some kids to step up and fill?
Well, obviously, for us, it's our X, Y, and Z position. We had 3 college football players, and we had a running back that also went to college. So doing spring ball, we really had to address those issues and find the guys that are willing to be committed to what our system's going to be and how we want to execute it. And, there's still some open competition going on right now as we move into, our first week of scrimmages with the old guys. So it's really fun to see. We're practicing at a high level. Offensive line wise, we lost three starters, but like I told you earlier, we're about the process and the developmental piece of this thing. The guys that are coming in played 87 snaps on average on Thursday night last year. They played offense, defense, and special teams, and that's huge for our program. Yeah. When it comes to development, them standing beside me on Friday night or getting 90 reps on JV, that to me is like a non-negotiable. They're going to play on the JV, and they're going to do what they need to do to get themselves prepared. And then off-season wise, I'm going to tell you, we hit the weight room for 4 straight months. Just something that I think that builds kids' confidence is the weight room, and that's something that was important to me, important to our staff. So we turned our equipment in the Friday after the last game against Lebanon Trail, and we started Monday. There was no turn-in equipment week and all that. It was time to go to work in the weight room.
Nice. And, I do want to talk about district, but first let's talk about your non-district schedule and your philosophy when it comes to scheduling non-district. Obviously, there's one game that is just going to be on the schedule, but the rest of non-district, is it look, you want to get these kids battle tested against the best competition you can, or do you want them to experience some successes so you go a little easier on the schedule?
Well, our district doesn't allow us to do the latter. So we have Denison week 1, and then week 2, we got Rock Hill again. It's a 6A program who went to the playoffs. If you look at their playoff game, they had an opportunity to win that thing late. Rock Hill is going to be, they're really physical. We have a lot of staff members that I know over there from my past and stuff, so it's really a fun game. but we don't have time to go try to, just play another week and get, you know what I mean? Like we got to
Yeah.
be tested against the best. And I think playing a 6A opponent that's very quality is really good for us. Now, last year we did not handle it very well.
Hmm.
Um, we went from week 1 to week 2, and maybe the Super Bowl was over, and well, we still had 9 games left. You know what I mean? So it was kind of a slap in our face last year, and I expect us to be able to handle it better this year. Handle success, and then you got to be able to go and play football again.
Excellent. Excellent. And what about your scrimmages? What has there been anything that you've noticed that was kind of a surprise, pleasant or otherwise?
Well, so for us, scrimmage wise, the ninth graders are the only ones who get 2 scrimmages because we did spring
Right.
ball. Ninth
Right.
graders went to McKinney Boyd last week, 6A program as well, and we competed our tails off. We were the most physical team out there, and we got after them. You know what I mean? And it was great for us to. It gives you that confidence. You don't you
Yeah.
tell an incoming freshman, hey, in 2 weeks we're going to play McKinney Boyd, a 6A school, and they kind of get wide eyed. You know what I mean? But it's
Yeah.
throw them in the fire and let's go, because they're gonna play a 6A program here in 2 weeks as well.
Yeah.
As far as our scrimmage for Sherman, or for the older kids, this second week, excuse me, I think it's important. I really love the Wichita Falls Sherman matchups from the past.
Mhm.
So I got a phone call last year when realignment came out, to be able to scrimmage one of these guys. So we're scrimmaged in Legacy, which is the old Wichita Falls High. So it's
Yeah.
basically your old High and Hershey guys coming together. Um, and man, it's a great place. Like, you can't beat Wichita Falls as the city, and just the travel part of it. If you're going to play deep in the playoffs, you're going to have a trip somewhere where you're taking 2 hours on the Yellow Dog. You know what I mean? And you
Yep.
got to get there. So our kids got to learn how to prepare for that, and that's really good for our coaches as well. So we'll play them. We'll scrimmage them on Thursday, and then next year we're looking at getting a home and home set up with Wichita Falls Memorial, which is the old Rider, and Mark Bindle, who's from Wichita Falls, and we've gone against each other as players and coaches. So I just think that Wichita Falls Sherman, it used to be a rivalry. You know what I mean? And so those things will be fun to bring back into the picture, depending on if the state of Texas puts us in another 25 team district again.
Right. No doubt. No doubt. So let's talk about the district. Break it down for us. Who do you think are the elite, and who is fighting hard for one of those final spots?
Well, I mean, it is what it is. The top's the top until they're taken down.
Yep.
So I think you're looking at, Reedy and Lone Star right there neck and neck. Wakeland's really close behind them. And then honestly, I think it's for the rest of those teams. It's all about who wants to go get it. And if you look every year, there's somebody who's beating somebody who keeps them out of the playoffs. And this year that's our goal, is to be in that 4th spot and fighting for it. You know what I mean? Playing
Yeah.
meaningful games late in the season. That's something that's important to me. Playing meaningful snaps in the fourth quarter is important to me. Not interested in winning by a lot and losing by a lot every game. It makes the fourth quarter boring, and it doesn't get you ready to play in a big game. Our kids are preparing right now to play as long as we can. Just winning the first game is that's not the end all be all,
Yeah.
for us. We have to go, first get ready for this scrimmage and then move into week 1. It's 1 week at a time, but we have a bigger goal in mind than just winning the Axe or just winning week 1, week 2. Like, we need to get to the playoffs and make deep runs.
Got it. Got it. So I'm going to jump into something I call the lightning round.
Okay.
I say 2 things. You respond with whichever one connects with you the most. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Willie Nelson or George Strait?
Garth Brooks,
I
George
love
Strait,
it. I love it. Dogs or cats?
dogs,
Hoodie or polo?
cut off hoodie,
I was gonna say, I'm thinking hoodie just by looking at you. Bucky's or Whataburger?
Waterburger,
Ribs or brisket?
ribs.
Queso or salsa?
Oh boy. I would have to say on that one, salsa. Yeah.
Okay. Coach Prime or Coach Saban?
Oh boy, that's a good one. Man, you need one right in the middle of there. Coach said
Right? Okay. Cowboys or Texans?
Cowboys,
Longhorns or Aggies?
Red Raiders.
There you go. We've had a few of those. I love that. Uh, so, out of all the coaches, high school coaches in Texas, head coaches, any level, whether you've coached against them or not, who do you think would be the biggest challenge across from the field from you, regardless of the players, just the coach himself?
The coach himself, I would think he's probably on our staff. We're fortunate to have Scott Smith, who's a Texas high school football legend. Has been a collegiate coach. That guy is just nuts and bolts, old school football, and get the job done. Do the work you got to do to get it done. And I think it would be a great challenge. And actually, when I was at SNS, we scrimmaged him when he was at Legacy Christian, and the intensity that he comes to work with, the intensity that his players have. I tell our coaches that they're the head coach of their position and their kid's going to be who they are. And every single running back we got is a hard nosed dude,
Yeah.
quarterbacks as well. So it would be something that would kind of intimidate me because man, his resume, like he's been at Rockwall AD, Highland Park head coach, been at Baylor, SMU, right when they came out of the, oh goodness, what's it called? Right when they came out of the death penalty.
Yeah, the penalty. Yeah.
This dude has got some he's got some skins on the wall, so definitely that. But I love, to answer your question, I guess a little bit shorter. I love the old school coach. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That does it the old school way. I'm an offensive lineman at heart. There's no substitute for the shoot. There's no substitute for the sled. There's no substitute for the hard nose in this game, and the work that you got to put in. So that's how we approach it. But I think that would be a pretty cool challenge. Not anytime soon. I don't want him to go on the opposite side of me right now. He's doing
Right.
a good job here, but yeah.
But I assume you're taking advantage of that knowledge.
Yeah, so me, as I was taught as a young coach, you go in there and shut your mouth and you be a sponge. That's all you are. You listen to
Yeah.
everything that's being told to you. And with him in the room now, when he speaks, everyone stops. And I mean, he's like 40 years my elder, and like he says a word, I'm like, hey, everyone be quiet. Like this is gold. You know what I mean? And that's how we are. That's how we all are. Like
Yeah.
he's got a wealth of knowledge that he'll forget more football than most of us will ever know. And so when he speaks, man, it's awesome. It helps us through things. There's hard conversations, but which have to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In order for us to be successful. But it's really good for our program and where we're trying to go to have somebody like him in it as well.
Excellent. And out of your whole coaching staff, who would you say is the funniest?
The funniest on the staff. It's boy, there's quite a few of those. I would say I think Hawk's pretty witty. He's got good comebacks. I wouldn't say the funniest. Man, the funniest. It goes from one to the other each day. All right, let me put a name on this and see here. I would say the funniest coach on our staff. Oh man, I think for me it's got to be like a Chris Clark. He's an older guy too, so he may be the funniest because he's the grumpiest the most. You know what I mean?
Right. May
But
not be jokes, but it's
yeah,
funny.
that's it. But and that's what I'll tell you as well. We have a great mix of coaches here,
Yeah.
uh, with knowledge that we have some young guys that are coming in and being sponges. We have some old guys that have been through it. Our coaches' office is the tightest I've ever seen. I make a rule where when we're done, we're done. You go home, and what you'll see is there's 16 coaches that stay, and we talk, and we're relating with each other. It's the tightest staff I ever have. We have a number of coaches that are from Sherman. Noble Polk graduated with me. Kenny Wilkerson, 97. Hawk graduate from here. Fulton graduate from here. So we have a mix of guys that are from here that understand what Sherman is and where Sherman came from. And I think if you got that mix with the other coaches, it's really, man, it's something special for us when it comes to what we're trying to do and bringing Sherman back to where Sherman needs to be. You know, we've all been in DFW. We've all been big school, small school, you know, but ultimately we're back here now at our home, and our job is to fix this thing.
I love that. I love that. Well, Coach, I want to thank you so much for sharing some of your insight there, and I look forward to next week as we talk about the axe you have to grind.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for allowing us to do this and pour back into the community.
Love it. This is just one of the many amazing things that the Booster Club accomplishes throughout the year for all sports. If you're interested in joining the Sherman Athletic Booster Club, or if you want to purchase some merchandise to show your Sherman Bearcat love, you can visit the website at shermanisd.net under the Athletics tab.
Hey Coach, Lone Star Gridiron has been the leader in Coach's Show podcasts for 20 years, and now you can get your own Coach's Show podcast each week during the season as a fundraiser for your booster club. Yes, booster clubs all over are using these podcasts to help their sports programs. You get to share the stories of your program and your kids to a huge audience and make money. We started with just football, but this year have expanded to make them available for all sports. Call 713-269-4620 to find out the details and get your Coach's Show started.